Hurricane Milton is a large and dangerous storm. It is moving toward the Florida coast. The storm brings strong winds, heavy rain, and the risk of tornadoes. Landfall is expected within the next 24 hours. Residents must take this storm seriously and prepare now. The National Hurricane Center is tracking Hurricane Milton. They provide regular updates on the storm's path and strength. Hurricane warnings are in effect for coastal areas. The governor of Florida has declared a state of emergency. This allows for resources to be quickly deployed. If you are in an area under a hurricane warning, take action now. Secure loose objects outside your home. Bring in anything that could become a projectile in strong winds. Prepare for potential power outages. Have flashlights, batteries, and a battery-powered radio ready. Hurricane Milton is expected to bring powerful winds to the Florida coast. These winds can cause significant damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure. High winds can also bring down trees and power lines. This can lead to widespread power outages. Heavy rainfall is another major concern with Hurricane Milton. The storm is expected to produce several inches of rain, with some areas potentially seeing over a foot. This amount of rain can lead to flash flooding, especially in low-lying areas. Be aware of your surroundings and avoid driving through flooded roadways. In addition to strong winds and heavy rain, Hurricane Milton also brings the threat of tornadoes. Tornadoes are rapidly rotating columns of air that can cause severe damage. They can form quickly and with little warning, especially in the outer bands of a hurricane. If a tornado warning is issued for your area, seek shelter immediately. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Stay away from windows, doors, and exterior walls. If you are in a mobile home or vehicle, seek shelter in a more substantial structure. Local officials may issue evacuation orders for certain areas in the path of Hurricane Milton. These orders are issued to protect residents from the most dangerous impacts of the storm, such as storm surge and flooding. If an evacuation order is issued for your area, it is crucial to follow it promptly. Evacuation routes will be clearly marked and publicized. Listen to local officials and news for information on evacuation zones and routes. If you are evacuating, pack essential supplies, including medications, important documents, and a few days' worth of clothing. Let family or friends know your evacuation plan. Emergency shelters are open throughout the affected areas to provide a safe haven for those who need to evacuate their homes. These shelters are staffed by trained volunteers and offer basic necessities such as food, water, and a place to sleep. If you need to go to a shelter, bring essential items with you such as bedding, toiletries, medications, and any special items needed for infants, elderly individuals, or those with disabilities. Be aware that pets may not be allowed in all shelters. Contact your local animal shelter for information on pet-friendly shelters. Coastal areas in the path of Hurricane Milton are at significant risk of flooding due to storm surge. Storm surge is the abnormal rise of water generated by a storm over and above the predicted astronomical tide. It is often the deadliest and most destructive threat from a hurricane. In addition to storm surge, high waves and heavy rainfall can exacerbate flooding in coastal areas. If you live in a coastal community, be prepared for the possibility of flooding. Secure or elevate valuable belongings and be ready to evacuate if instructed to do so. Never drive or walk through flooded areas. Power outages. Be prepared. Power outages are common during hurricanes due to strong winds and downed power lines. These outages can last for hours or even days, depending on the severity of the storm and the extent of the damage. Be prepared for the possibility of power outages by having a plan in place. Charge all electronic devices before the storm arrives. Have flashlights, extra batteries, and a battery-powered radio readily available. Keep a supply of non-perishable food and bottled water on hand. If you have a generator, make sure it is properly installed and fueled. Stay informed. Follow official updates. Staying informed is crucial during a hurricane. The situation can change rapidly, and it is essential to stay up to date on the latest forecasts, warnings, and advisories. Rely on trusted sources of information, such as the National Hurricane Center, your local National Weather Service office, and local news outlets. Pay attention to weather alerts issued for your area. These alerts provide critical information about potential hazards and recommended actions to take. Follow the instructions and recommendations of local officials. They are working to keep you safe. Safety first. Protect yourself and your loved ones. During a hurricane, your safety and the safety of your loved ones should be your top priority. Take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from the storm's potential impacts. Follow evacuation orders, seek shelter if needed, and avoid unnecessary risks. After the storm has passed, continue to exercise caution. Be aware of downed power lines, debris, and other hazards. Do not enter damaged buildings until they have been inspected and deemed safe. Check on your neighbors, especially elderly or vulnerable individuals. After the storm, recovery and support. The aftermath of a hurricane can be challenging, but communities come together to support each other during these times. Local, state, and federal agencies will be available to assist with recovery efforts. If your home or property has been damaged, contact your insurance company as soon as possible to file a claim. Be patient as recovery efforts may take time. Remember that you are not alone, and there are resources available to help you rebuild and recover.